Okay, Famule Muna, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I bring on a warm greeting from the Then and Now Media Platform, Media Empire. Today, the 21st of November, 2020, on a very special program at a critical time, the history of the country. Very proud to have two eminent personalities on the platform here tonight. So, once again, I say welcome to everybody, and as per our usual ritual, I kindly ask that we share the video. We'll begin for share. This is not history in the making. Forget two of them people there on the platform. So welcome to everybody. We don't join now, and we will subsequently join the program later. On the platform here tonight, like I've been saying, we get two very special people. And because we don't go almost 10 minutes into time, we're not going to waste any more time, but rather make a very quick introduction. In the first place, we get the president of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasralla, aka D Monk. Mr. Nasralla, welcome to the program, sir. Mr. Nasralla, you hear me?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, brilliant.
I hear you loud and
clear. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The other personality we'll get on the program here tonight is the Director of Media at USL. That's the University of Sierra Leone, Farabe College, and also the former head of the Mass Communication Department at the University of Sierra Leone. We kind of honor for have Dr. Tonya Musa on the program. Dr. Tonya Musa, welcome to the program, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for getting me here.
Thank you very much. So, Fambule Masuna can see the headline. This is a very serious conversation at a very serious time in the history of the country. And like I say, you can't get the best people for address such issues, which get to do with communication and mass media and the arrival of social media. So, D-Monk, Dana Nasralla, go start with you, sir. What do you think are the parameters of the press association of the country, or a free press, if you would like? Mr. Nasralla?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I think so. They have audio problems, so maybe I redirect this question to Dr. Tonya. Dr. Tonya, if you hear me, sir, there was a question I just posed to Mr. Nasralla. Unfortunately, I don't think he hear me.
Yes, come back again, please.
Yeah,
come back to the question again, please.
Okay, the question is, in terms of press freedom, what do you think are the parameters or supposed to be the parameters for press freedom now we country Sierra Leone, especially so at this critical time, sir? Yes, I hear you. If you hear the question, please go ahead and answer. The parameters of a free press in Sierra Leone, what is supposed to be, what do they look forward to? What a person like you as head of the Association of Journalists expects? Okay, I think we have a problem with Nasralla. Dr. Tonya, did you hear the question, sir?
Well, the parameter of press freedom, now any society generally therefore look at key areas then. Well, one are the law. The law also can able for determine whether the press free or not. That means a law for publication, law for free expression, law for access information, and then law also for process information. That are the law side. Apart from that, also this same freedom, law in the way they fulfill some of them here, but freedom not see the. The other condition for freedom, now the area of economy. Now let's alone with the talk about media poverty. That means hard up day, poor day. Even though the law would they say you can process information, you can express yourself, but too much poor can tight that freedom day again. The other side, apart from poverty, now the area again back where they deal with people they own free will. What I mean by that, there are your connections then. Perhaps, for example, if you tie yourself too much to political activities, them, or politicians, them, or apart from that, a businessman, you get too much interest in the corporate world, that back inside in the freedom. Because anything when at the interest of the corporate world and at the advertisers, then, for example, you're not going able for really report what you want to report. You can't twist. And self, if you did inside too much politics, you're not going able for articulate the actual things that are flawed because you get political interest. Going further, also, the other thing where they tight in freedom again, are the knowledge. We believe, say, the more journalists they go able to understand what they happen, what they for reports on, will make them report on certain things then. But like now, Nasralla, certain sets of issues then they or institutions then they or processes then the way we can talk in English say they're underreported. So meaning if they talk about press freedom, parameters them, the main one are the law because now that all man they look at and peace because if peace day, the law they peace they first no they halal and no they you not go get for restricting journalists then they write or publish. But beyond that again, we also like I just talk but the economy, poverty, because the card just say you want write, you want publish, it depends on the money where you get. If you don't get, now somebody get for sponsor you. Of course, I mean a common slogan where they say he who pays the piper calls the tune. That means you're not free to would really they support you or sponsor you. So if we put that one day together and back to the knowledge, because the knowledge back very important, like I just say, for let we talk or report on certain things there, we really forget the idea and the know-how for go about them. Finally now the technology, we don't come. If you're not able to understand and handle this technology properly, we don't get to a point now where later I go explain what they call information pollution. So even the journalists then for process the too much information where they are around there now, for let them report credible information, now another challenge.
Okay, many thanks for such a response. We set the clarity and tone of this particular message here or the messaging for tonight. And just quickly, Mr. Nasralla, any chance you hear you now?
Yes, I get it clear now.
Okay, they get
it clear.
Yeah, and Dr. Tonya, for some reason, stand by, please. For some reason, Dr. Tonya, your video is off. I don't know whether it's intentional. If it's not intentional, maybe you go on for switch them on. So then we'll see that Dr. Tonya is on the program. Okay, Mr. Nasralla, you just hear, I believe you hear Dr. Tonya Musa there talking about press freedom and the parameters of what is supposed to be press freedom and a very good outline. So in your opinion, do you reckon, would they enjoy something like press freedom? I want to let you talk about both in the den, because the team where they try for drive to now in terms of a libel law, we be not now we book them, we subsequent government they all been they use, and this president come and the president promise it go scrap them, and indeed it scrap them part of them, part 5 of them. So waiting have been the advantage and the disadvantage then, and waiting at the advantage and disadvantage now, where they not scrap and they not bring this IMC.
Well, from your own perspective, even before the police lawyer repeal the criminal libel law, the repealer, even before that, we don't enjoy some amount of press freedom. If you look at the IMC over the years before the police law, they already start plenty media houses there. Okay, what we call media pluralism. Okay, Boku media there. Boku media already start where they operate freely. Then with the law now, where they don't pull, because that law they limit the extent to which we go for enjoy that freedom day. So since they don't pull that law now, they don't get enough freedom back. Don't get a lot of freedom. But then they will take a freedom in the aspect of the law. Say this law will be the prohibit the development of the media, will be the prevent for let people then come to invest in the media. Will be the prevent women then from come into the media for can take leadership. I'll say we don't get some amount of freedom. But beyond that law, beyond the aspect of legislation, we also get other things that we about the freedom who we forget, and that is what we call the economy of the media. And if you look at Sierra Leone, you don't see the economy, the struggle right now. Even before now, the struggle with the COVID-19 pandemic, it was, and it definitely affects the media because the media always take the coloration of the society where they operate. So economy board, and definitely the media economy is the poor. Another aspect on the so-called media poverty. Media advertising, they get plenty of advertising for nobody in it. And you also get the aspect of the professionalism as well. You get some poverty in the back because lack of professionalism in some kind, because so many issues that they happen, we will lack the knowledge for comment on them, for analyze, and for make the people understand that. And the government said, see, we own contribution to the national conversation. That did not happen so far. Then now the one they want to take over that the civil society then, and they can do that for we now. We provide the space for them. Then the civil society will lay on a different then they can sign out and begin discussing things there. I think what the media said, people put in a position for discuss. Now they will set the agenda for make sure say now what we want, what the people want, now in the government they discuss. Now we converse, not voting the politicians they want, now they take up for the three aspects in the
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the poor quality of audio from, I believe now from we guest, Mr. Nasralla. But hopefully, as we go along, maybe we will get more clarity. But the quality of the audio is poor from one of the guests. But at least we hear most of what he say. I also want to introduce. Mr. Nasralla, maybe as we go along, maybe the quality of the audio will improve, or there's a kind of issue with the quality of the audio. I don't know. Maybe now the internet, you're probably weak, but the audio, your video looks okay, although a little bit dark, but there is some degree of clarity. Now only the audio, it kind of fluctuates, but that's okay. Maybe it might improve as we go along. But just a quick one, ladies and gentlemen, just for a reminder now, we get two eminent personalities on the platform here tonight, and we talk about something very relevant to the area of professionalism where they belong to. And we get Dr. Tonya, the Director of Media at the University of Sierra Leone, and we get the SLAJ President, Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasralla, and we talk about press freedom and the replacement to the seditious libel law. And we also don't get the co-panelists we just sign in, Mr. Mohammed Kamara, aka Superman, who is no stranger to this platform because he gets your own show. So Superman, I'm sure you just joined, but you get your questions prepared for the guests then. Are you, sir?
Yes, thank you very much, Brother Prince Emil Koma, and I want to say a warm welcome to we two distinguished guests them when Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasralla, when I'm the president of SLAJ, and also to Mr. Tonya Musa, when the director of media at the University of Sierra Leone. We're glad plenty for getting at this platform. And it's just unfortunate. I want to apologize again on behalf of this platform for all the technical difficulties where we get tonight. First question, Mr. Ahmed Sahid. I don't know whether it's in line clear.
Yeah, hang on 1 minute, Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Nasralla, if you can pause your audio, put them on mute. I believe say now from your end, most of the noise they come from. While you try for sort of plenty of background noise. So if you can mute your audio, please.
Okay, let's try to do that.
Yeah. Mohammed, you can go on with your question, please.
Okay, then thank you very much again. And meanwhile, where Mr. Nasralla Lepa adjusting audio, I go send me first question to Dr.
Not Nasralla. Now somebody else get that. Dr. Tonya, you are mute your own as well. Maybe now you let we see who side this noise they come out. Not from Nasralla. Okay, Dr. Tonya don't mute your own. And the noise don't seem for go.
Don't seem for stop. So, okay.
Yes, the noise don't seem for stop. So maybe now Dr. Tonya. So Dr. Tonya, you go unlock your audio when you're ready for respond, because suddenly the noise don't go away. So maybe not from your end. So yeah, go ahead with your question, please, Mr. Superman.
Yes, thank you very much again once more, Brother Prince Emil Kuma. And I tell we guess them, thank you plenty way they're able to join me tonight. And they apologize on behalf of the platform for all the technical difficulties. And so we know say the connection, the internet connection not keep it easy. But we're very, very pleased to forget them to outstanding guests and eminent personalities on this platform. Meanwhile, where the Mr. Nasralla and online don't open back, I think I would direct my first question to him because I'm the president of the Sierra Leone Journalist Association. Mr. Nasralla, we see a prominent or eminent journalist or politician where now Madam Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden, they complain say from that same way the Olam where they arrest him, lock on a Panemba Road for how many months? He suffer all kinds of suffer and not see the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists stand up for him because in a part of una, if something like that they meet him, una the overall body where they look after journalists, they honor the country. He say no feel una stand up for him at all or talk on his behalf when he say they seize advantage for him and in a one pounder. So what to make that happen, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, make us say we not ever abandon him. We talk on his behalf. As a matter of fact, now we are the first organization who go fena na CID and we then give access to go talk to them. Now in cell, they pull them out of the cell, they give access. We are the first organization. Even the APC party, who are in party, we meet them, they not allow them. And we talk to them, we interview them, they explain we all what's happening to them, how they go arrest them, how you don't kind of the kind of thing that way they go through now the cell and detention. And I go back now my Facebook page, SLAJ Facebook page, and I post the account today. I'm putting the explain we not add nothing there, we not put nothing there, we'll talk to the police back, the police version, we post that. And at that point, they now in case come get some kind of publicity. And then we do we break a resolution will be get na SLAJ. The last AGM will be get in 2016. The membership we agree say SLAJ not to defend any non-SLAJ member. And Dr. Blyden not a SLAJ member. Number one. But there was a resolution now the SLAJ AGM in 2016. Both SLAJ because of some issue that will be happening with people who want to journalists that will be the defend. They say okay for now, let's SLAJ not put any resources into anybody who not to SLAJ member. Number one. But we'll break that. We'll not listen because me say as a new president and as a believer of freedom of expression in any kind of way, I call Mr. Jen, who go there, who are listening in the land. Who first go there. Now who first talk to her and also explain we put her on the SLAJ Facebook page. He did it. You go there, you see and we see the date today. All those explain we put on the. You see, so then I wait and call it. So and we get to resolution, but we define them and go and try from because we don't say the border on press and anything and they not be in charge of it too. They not be in charge of it. So not even no say the whole for in speech make the whole for on a further make the whole for the police not get tell we, but we take that risk there and talk about them because we know say whatever the case in the long run, you go be border on voting in the right now in Facebook page or voting the right now in newspaper. So if you tell you say we not abandon them. And that is not true. If we tell you say we abandon them, that is not true. We stand for them and we make sure say we make in case public and narrating all the way they go through we be in detention. And I want the first organization will go there.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Danny answer your question.
Okay, then thank you very much, Mr. Nasralla, because recently we'll be seeing we make that video the way some other journalists and say they will go interview them. And make a feel say we'll get you today now as the president of SLAJ. Now we ask you, at least you don't give your side of the story. And I believe say Fambulem go get another angle of the story. And I make you gladly forget to and actually for clarify some of the issue they ask you because we see the journalists and the country as one of the key pillars of any.
If I can add to that.
Okay, go on, sir.
If I can add to that, when they signed the repeal, when Parliament signed the repeal on July 23rd, now we SLAJ back now we first make a case to the Ministry of Information. We tell them say, you know, go find they don't repeal this lawyer. They will still get people in with the hold within a court and with the government hold under criminal institutions libel. So we ask the government through the ministry whether they drop all the case then they. We do for nothing. We begin up for nothing. They to the president they make the symbolic signing in the State House. we appeal back. And we appeal after that back. And on the day for the mark and impunity against journalists day, you know what I mean? We put out a press release. We will make a very clear say we call on the government for speed up the process for drop all cases them who bother on criminal libel within our courts and within our police. And to what they call government listen and then drop the case there and see one of the people who benefit from it. One of the first beneficiary there. So I'm not saying I'm saying we abandon now. We stand with them and we make sure say we do what we do in the circumstances we be there. Even though we membership not be happy because we get a resolution we say we're not for defend anybody, we're not a journalist, we're not a part of SLAJ.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, Mr. Nasralla. Thank you very much. You don't clear the air on that side. I believe so like we say earlier on, family themselves will benefit from what you don't talk so. When the other quick question, I want to throw you side again. You don't see the change of media landscape in the world like today. Social media don't become very, very prevalent. And we know say most of the journalists and your organization and association be then at the print media. And this behind them, plenty Sierra and they say most of the journalists in the country they don't seem for left behind because technology don't left them behind, and then they seem for catch up with the latest advance in terms of technology when at social media, where plenty Sierra Leoneans them all about the world and back na Sierra Leone, they get them the news from they like today. And when they see SLAJ as the main body where they represent the journalists in the country, they play pivotal parts in the social media domain. What's on respond to that?
Well, make I make some clarification. Hold on. Social media na a platform, not just a platform. You get WhatsApp, you get the internet, you get Facebook, you get Twitter. Then a platform there, available to everybody, not just journalists anymore. They're available to everybody. Then another platform where you can take advantage of for promote your business, for promote your ideas, for raise awareness, or mount a campaign and organize something. That platform is there. But what we call digitalization of the media. And that's when we do it. That's the challenge we'll get. It's any different from social media. Social media is just platform. And I believe say all journalists make use of social media. Now, if you look, by the time you remember every morning, you don't see all the front page there. Now social media. So journalists make use of it. Beside the one in the pool, the hard computer in the cell, don't have print media. Even the radio stations there, they get the platform there on social media. They get Facebook streaming live. They go let them there. Now, what we will able to achieve it because now this is a growing problem and a growing challenge, and we work on them. Now, how the media for digitalize traditional media, talk about newspaper, we talk about radio and TV, how we digitalize and for make money from them, for make revenue from them. That's the challenge that we'll get. But in terms of using social media, we only use that. Every journalist uses that. We did a SLAJ get in Facebook page, we go with Twitter page, and we go website page. So then a platform they would use. Then I want a social media platform is one day. But how the journalists for make sure they would take advantage of digitalization, the media houses them, and for make sure they use them for spread news, for give information, and get money from that information they would give. But that's the reason they provide and make money out of that. That's the challenge. And that's what they work on. They will see in the long run, definitely they will get a solution for them.
Okay, thank you very much again, Mr. Nasralla. I'll tell you, thank you plenty for you. Very, very excellent response. I believe say most of the people on the platform today will benefit from what you get for counsel from your own side as the president of SLAJ. But I want to go again quickly. Last time question to Dr. Tonya Musa, when are the director of media at the University of Sierra Leone. Dr. Musa, are you with her?
Yes, sir, they with you. They follow.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
They follow.
Yes, sir. Okay. As the director of media at the University of Sierra Leone, we don't see most of the time at the university there where people, almost most of the students, small things happen between them. They're not able to negotiate among themselves or come to a amicable solution. It can end up a draw. What if you feel say a role for making people understand, say, as a media, somebody who gets all over with Sierra Leoneans for making Sierra Leoneans understand, say, for they also they agree for disagree peacefully. It don't mean say we all get for buy into one thing. You can get your own opinion, me can get my opinion. And you as a very, very influential figure, now the media sector over the university side, what you feel say, how you able to do for make sure say you help and that's particular aspects there?
Well, Fambu for no say Salon a post-conflict state. And we can always talk about mindset of people. One of the bad mindsets where Salon people that belong develop na violence as a means for solve problem. But then part of the peace building efforts now before we introduce dialogue and facilitate conversation, like I been just say, we can agree and disagree and we disagree for agree. But again, we can live in diversity, but then again, we get unity. Which we say unity in diversity. Now, if you go to the university system, we don't get what we call fraternity and sorority. We get large impact on the mindset of students then. That most of the things that they do now, they can always call an ideological leaning. Going outside of it again, within the same country, we don't get political interest. We don't go beyond the expectations of how students become active politicians. But then now the external politics and the national politics, it filter into the activities then of students then, in terms of their own governance, in terms of their own activities then, or their aspirations then and their needs. We as administration, they always make sure say the students they understand rules and regulations and laws the way they govern the community and the processes and procedures the way university gets. Secondly, we consider them as we clients where we for always dialogue with them towards their needs and aspirations. Again, we always make sure say they're able for interface with themselves peacefully. But the broader part now, like I just say, the mindset challenge we get. Remember, Salome don't even get a secretariat where they call attitudinal behavioral change secretariat. We just talk about the mindset of the ordinary person. So now, Salon now, for example, including the same student that we get, then they come on at the larger Salon society, go to university. We get some there way at a former man. We get some there from Okada riders, even beach boys. You name them normal way they enter at the university community. So when they don't can at three major things then where they can always do not differ from violence. One are the student politics. We're very important because the University Act 2005 provides say they forget that governance structure for work with the administration. At any time we want to get that kind of structure in place, it therefore be too much, among the students then. As a result of the external interference, then as a result of the strong student fraternity and sorority, we can overshadow what they're supposed to do as students. The second side we don't learn the answer now, that's payment of fees and registration. Where you go agree with me, say any institution where they go, you must get for subscribe to that institution by way of paying your fees and register. Now that the University of Australia, most students they want learn, but they don't want pay, they don't want register. That they affect management, the understanding of who that in at the university and how they for cater for them. So at any time when they not pay or register, when they say, for example, you not get for take exam, you not get for, they part of the process, they get for resort to violence. That one they don't too far. I think say a month ago or two, examination process with the owner from the college, where some students they begin for suffer, they stone them, they spoil the building there as a result of that kind of thing like this. The third one now any internal competition we can get, when a part of the health of the university students, they like okay, say debates, like okay, say let them come together and get quiz. First anything they happen quietly. But now they don't get that culture of violence that even when they're for day for competition, we for help for mold them, they can result to violence. So now something is very serious. But how we go stop them? One, we believe say discipline measure are the best way. They can say kill dog before dog, let dog know say die. So as an administration, we don't use the dialogue model, but not to dialogue no more they bring about change. Another thing we can enhance change that sanction. So don't believe say we therefore combine the dialogue and sanction as a way for change their mindset. So that they will therefore understand, say, university environment, that place where you know they only come for building academic credentials, but you also get for building moral standards. Because at the end of the day, people therefore look at you as your role model. So for sake of that, we don't encourage the students there, alongside also we sensitize them or give them awareness raising. But again, we also try now for put sanction or penalty for the one where they breach them protocol.
Okay, then thank you very much, Dr. Tonya Musa. I go on back to we Chief Moderator, Mr. Prince Emil Koma. Mr. Prince Emil Koma, back to you.
Many thanks, Supermed. And Dr. Tonya, just for do a follow-up on the question of my co-host. You talk extensively about the issue of student activity, them up now the college day. You talk about fraternity and sorority and ideological leaning. And this is the thing that I want to let you expand on when you talk about ideological leaning and external interference and waiting seem for be a cultural shift or paradigm shift, if you like, in terms of violence where students they want to go college but they don't want to pay. Waiting they feel then kind of thing there, because I sure say the university will have conducted some sort of investigation and arrive at some conclusion as to waiting they feel then particular issue there.
Well, if you take, for example, the area of fraternity or sorority among students then, now something where when a cultural approach will be done there before, you know. But I think say the one that will be attend from the college in the 70s, late 70s, and then also 80s, 90s, they will tell you, say, that thing they be there for mold the students then. More or less, for example, if you don't come on at secondary school, you don't go university, they tell where the cafeteria be there, they try for help other students can learn how for, you know, dress and go for dinner and how then they eat, how then they able for interact with other protocols then as extracurricular activities. First, it be there for bring them together for let them enjoy sport and other social activities. But of late now, it don't become a system where you not only they target the student then, but external politicians then they try for affiliate with them group then they. Right. So if you come from a college, for example, then group then they we get the clubs then, who in short that we call the clubs. But we don't get two major clubs there now where in this they don't take ideological line. You get black man, you get white man. So the students then where they inside each of them group then they at any one point in time where national government day, the political parties then, one group will try for be influenced by the political parties outside. Then at the end of the day, then they see themselves as either government and then the other one, then they see themselves as shadow opposition. So that one, they don't significantly, you know, impact on their compliance and interaction, even as student body. But funnily, again, if you don't go to Probe College before, you realize, say, the one that now where they in governance, some, you know, we will not go even name. But they don't actually then at their group, then they as opposing groups then. But then they can't find themselves again inside the party then, where this then at the other side, then the other one and then the other side. But then they work amicably. So they always try for let students understand, for example, say, for let you day inside that group day, like initially, the first moderator began for put say we can live in unity in diversity, and then we can agree and disagree for agree. We don't make until they say, I mean, you they can at the university now a training ground for let you live at the universe. So it no matter, una can they inside this black man, white man, but at the end of the day, we una go again, the two major political parties then, una can end up for the inside the different way and able for interact. We make it again clear so they say, let them understand that because this is now one strong factor. The second factor, now the problem of support to political parties. You know, the student they always feel say Yanda or the university na a place where na a strong constituent for politicians there. So and the politicians them back beyond they support the kind of idea that they over the years. For example, if you go na private school, na Freetown, most of the schools they get timeline where they pay. If you don't pay, they lost your admission. You go outside Sierra Leone or other universities then. you get time for register and pay. But students, we don't always take the granting aid, for example, as something where they for peg their registration to. The person will say, I know they register until granting aid results come out. Then when the granting aid results come out, that one day, you know, they to either the current government or the opposition. Now, it's time where we don't be now after the war. So that granting aid politics, they, as who that in name go there, who that they get, all that one day they contribute for delay the registration process. The other thing where we don't know before now is when they say register, they're not registered, and they always try for influence the politicians then, for let them can't talk to them, or let them beg for them. Then they even go to parliament. So that one day we don't they affect, you know, the timeline where university can get for let them register. And they always see say politicians then go come for sympathize with them. Given that, then go get for expect vote from them or support from them. So that one then is something very serious. We believe say the best way it will be, I mean, like when we talk about loan scheme for students, then if that kind of thing they can, now one solution. Apart from that, if the scholarship, once they don't give you scholarship, or you don't get a scholarship, when you get them, you pay or you don't pay, they go refund the money back to you. The other thing is we don't get now Boku universities and Salon, we don't get Boku colleges. Each one get your own standard. You get minimum requirement for camp. So if at all you're not able to get that money, I mean, no force yourself for camp. Because the application form, same the state say, let we get somebody where they guarantee sponsorship for Leikana University. That side, if you check all the application form, every student they state and say, somebody they state for and say, I will sponsor this student for the number of years where he go there. This is the minimum amount I get. So at times they will even give them back paper or form for do undertaking after interview. Because just imagine, we get for conduct exam, now money that they pay for process that examination day. They get for run the administration day to day for let the college day. Now money get for involved. So if you can at the college, you're not able to pay that money, it will become difficult for let you own expectations that actually will be fulfilled. So that make we can always make and say, let them understand that. Globally, we don't see say now, there is what we call changing democracy in contemporary society. And one of the key things for this change in democracy, now openness, transparency, and also the opportunity for people there for let them react or respond. Now that don't make now if you watch television screen, before the day they done, you must see demonstration at one part of the world. You must see, you know, people that they do peaceful demonstration.
Dr. Tonya. Absolutely, sir.
So the student there don't invite that kind of thing. For say they say for express a radical approach, you know, to the needs and aspiration where they want for articulate them. But we they always tell them, say, we own situation now, we get for also look at and say, one, within a fragile democracy, within a transition society, where would they move from violent environment to a peaceful environment?
So I want to let you hold your view or your thought right there, Dr. Tonya, you know, yeah, like within a fragile society, a violent society, in other words, a transitional society, where in between we feel all the spasm there, they happen in the society. We'll go come back to that and we'll go allow you time for address that. I just want to shift quickly to Mr. Nasralla. And Mr. Nasralla, this is basically on the replacement for the libel law again, because you are the president of all journalists then. Waiting, there is some take, you know, outside of una prism, una kind of lens, even though I'm pretty sure say few people and go get the ifs and the buts regarding the replacement to the seditious libel law. Not everybody is kind of happy. Where you and your people stand with this particular law again, I think I asked a similar question, but that's something I did try for prime out of you, because on the international side, I get people obviously where they call and homing on certain things they're not satisfied with, and they look like say this law, the replacement is more draconian, but again more like a cat or feline, a feline feeling. So you don't really know, but a more even draconian. What say you, Mr. Nasralla, to people that we think as such? Mr. Nasralla, you hear me? Okay.
Okay,
Nasralla,
okay, thank you very much. Yes, thank you
Okay,
very much.
you
Thank
hear
you
the
very much.
question?
Yeah, I hear the question, yes.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, brilliant.
First of all, let me make one clarification. There is no replacement for the criminal and seditious libel law. We're not getting any replacement for it. Now pull them totally. Then I repeal and pull out. We're not getting any replacement. What did they do? The IMC Bill 2020 now strengthen the IMC for make them get some kind of powers for regulate the media. But that power they limited back because SLAJ get a huge control, a huge say in what in the IMC they do right now. And the fear of people get, they say they don't pull the criminal libel law and they don't put another draconian law. Now that means they go on. But I tell you, to be honest, for free, what in they said that IMC Act day, that IMC Act 2020 day. Now what in 99% now what is SLAJ wants 90 day. What happened? We then pull the first draft, we then get the draft of the IMC bill. We get uproar inside the media. Media people go on TV, they go on here, on radio, they begin condemn certain sections there. What we do as an executive, we make sure say we call an extraordinary meeting. Who can sit down? Say, okay, this is not the gazette, this is not the draft bill, what the ministry want to go to parliament. Now, law watcher, we get 21 days. Law watcher, page by page, line by line, paragraph by paragraph. That's what we do. And we make sure say the one them back with the upline because it's large in a national body. We get journalists with the upline. Make sure say the regional executive, they set a meeting and then submit the report and before they get the extraordinary meeting at Tonya. And that's how we go. We go there and I got the people and all the one
your audio
make noise and what they call and condemn all good. I will go through them. So to make sure say hello?
Yes, hello? You know your audio they play up, but you clear again. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
It go on and off. You know, so
yeah.
The network.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
the network,
we get a meeting today and we go through the so we go through everything and we get what we want. Now we can go to the ministry. The ministry back, we go meet the minister and in team, and one whole team at the ministry. We do a PowerPoint back. We go there. The ministry, instead getting your own things the way you want for let it in at the bill. We get through there. I say, no, Mr. Minister, this one. And we go through them. And we try to convince them. All they said they will be get problem with. Now the issue of qualification and the issue of sole proprietorship and the issue of public interest will give the IMC the power for shut down a media house if they don't comply with certain regulations there. We take her. We say, okay, that's not going to parliament back. Not going to parliament, but we still stand with what we want. We go to parliament, and interestingly, now the privilege, the legislative committee, the parliamentarians, and they give the platform for explain every section we get issue with. We explain them, and at the end of the day, they accept they accept all the things. Then even to the day when they repeal the law on the parliament, they will do it back. We all the day we be move around, all man we make sure say what you want inside the act. So I'm not saying anything they want to ban the only people who want freedom, you know, absolute freedom. You can forget checks and
so make a push back on certain things them on that particular issue where you touch on, because here are some of the issues them. And I want to let you address them if you will, please. I think that Section 5 of the IMC Act, it talks about a person or media, and I think so now you talk about so a person or media institution aggrieved by the suspension or cancellation of a license under subsection 1 may appeal to the appeals court within 30 days of the suspension or cancellation, and the appeal court shall within 30 days of receipt of the appeal make a decision thereon. For them, when we get issues with this particular one, because there are loads, I can assure you. Waiting at the guarantee we're able to provide for them now, say there are no real issues with this. Just waiting the law spell out. That's what's happening. You know, yeah, both in theory and in practice.
Well, you don't really mention them. You say you get right for appeal. And I one guarantee that one day. Any decision with the IMC take, you get a right for appeal at the court of law, at the Supreme Court or the High Court. Then again, the IMC don't go close the station. They give you 3 warnings. They call you to book, say, hey, you don't broke this lawyer. You don't break this lawyer. If you don't comply, they get second warning back. They tell you back, say you don't broke this lawyer. You need to comply with anything there. You go to the 3rd time back. Now the 4th time, no, you don't comply with all 3 times a day. You still continue for doing consecutively. Now they take that decision day. And when you take you self get right for appeal and say, no, this is not right, I get right for appeal. So those are the guarantees. The IMC don't get absolute power for doing anything. For say, it close you right down to it. No, they want you first, it call it to attention, and it specify to you the sections that we don't violate. Then he warn you. Yeah. If you don't take them back, you do it again back, they call you back again and warn you back in formal writing. They warn you back and tell you, say, this is what they call. You know, like again, third time back, they warn you back. If you don't pass 3 times now, let me say you don't plan to comply.
Okay, Mr. Nasralla, thank you for that. Just before I cede the floor to my co-host and take a back seat on this interview, just around the same thing, regarding the right of the commissioner for suspend or cancel a newspaper, one of your newspapers or magazines or registration, when it is satisfied that the holder of the certificate of registration has, violated a term or condition of the registration. This now other people and get issues as well, because it says that within 6 months period, if you contravene the media code of practice more than once, where I believe say now you talk.
Yes, exactly.
How did they determine this practice of contravention? And because we know some of it get clarity, but is it not where this commissioner can determine by himself, or is there a commission, or once they non-commission that commissioner they now in the determine whether a newspaper, a magazine, or a subsequent publication don't violate, the rules more than X number of times, and will take such action as for ban or suspend the license of such media house?
Not to the commissioner, The act now in the determine one day. The act is clear for what you for do and what you know for do. It's specified a clear one. You don't get any ambiguity. Say you don't understand what they call. And it's very simple. All it did, not to the commissioner not get power. You don't get that power there. The IMC now a board comprised of about 14 commissioners there. Just get the head, one of the chairman. And then they take decision. Chairman they take decision without the body approval. They give a call meeting and go to the board and make sure say they agree. Say everybody, all the players they get part. And inside that number today, SLAJ get 7 people who we nominate, and we get also plus we representative who represent today as SLAJ, who they report to it directly for what they happen at IMC, they report to it back directly. So not say get you don't get that power. You don't get that power for just the commission anonymous. This don't violate. You get for show reason. You get for see the reason. The series of one series don't violate. And at the act 90 can guide me.
Okay.
So you take decision because he writes something who they against your own personal interest or what they call no. You get for don't violate a section in the act. That make the IMC right now they put together the media code of practice. The media code of practice and get the legislation there. Now and get the rules and regulations who they govern this act here. You know what I mean? So they put that together now, and then they go for dump and back as SLAJ and make sure see the media code of practice and it within what we want and what we want for let the IMC not get too much power for come overrule the media and come for and try for gag me.
So in this sense, the government of Sierra Leone get no power at all for shut down any media house, nor ban any journalists from practicing their profession. Somebody just mentioned that in the chat room, so I just
don't get them at all.
Many thanks, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, you're on the platform then and now, TNN Media Empire. Today, the 21st of November, 2020. We are having a very, very special program, a very serious conversation regarding the present and future of the country, Sierra Leone. And for help for chat the way through are 2 eminent personalities and people that know what to talk about, and very stakeholders and the persons of a SLAJ president and the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists president, the president for all the journalists then, Mr. Sahid Ahmed Nasralla, and the former director of mass communications at the University of Sierra Leone, and the current media head at the University of Sierra Leone, Dr. Tonya Musa. Then they will be here tonight. So Supermed, you've got the floor. I will cede this interview, the rest of the interview, to you as I need to attend one conference quickly.
Okay, and thank you very much again once more, Brother Prince Emil Kuma, for your remarkable moderation, and we'll tell you thank you. We're on this platform here where you always do for make sure the things keep moving. Again, thank you very much again to we special guest that we'll get tonight, Dr. Tonya Musa and Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasralla. Dr. Tonya Musa, I want to go back to you, sir. You know, recently we don't get plenty people in terms of education in our country, and you as a director of media in our country, probably go able to more small by this particular talk. Dr. Tonya Musa, you get me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir. I said plenty people, more of our students, don't they complain, say, the education where they get now in country, the education more over the University of Sierra Leone will move ahead with times. The education don't they change on at the wall. More of this technical and information technology don't they overcome at the wall. What in the University of Sierra Leone they do for make sure so they go to catch up to time and prepare them students when our leaders and our picking our people go for take over our country in the future for go prepare them for waiting they come as the world they evolve like today.
Well, if we come to the dynamics there of education, I think say Iboku, one of the areas the way you don't call when are concerned with the kind of the facility or the infrastructure for ICT for enhanced learning. But then beyond that also, we also talk about the ICT literacy. You know, we go get for day in the curriculum or the content of learning. And then also the ICT infrastructure for the country for enhanced kind exchange of knowledge. Because basically, if you get for enhance all this transformation, the data communication, therefore, Salona, as we talk, we get serious challenge with that. Nevertheless, the aspiration will be done again from, you know, time in memory, how they talk about rural communication, rural connectivity, laptop and child, and also come to the point now that we talk about digitalization, that even where the monk they talk to you, just now, you talk about the media going digital and salon as something very important. You know, some you be asking about social media, knowledge and usage among journalists. Then you go further for tell you say the challenge now. Online presence, and then also the knowledge for let journalists them go able for do blogging. You know, beyond the normal newspapers or radio where they do. So going further, like I just tell you, if you come down at the university, yes, we don't do curriculum review. And part of the new things the way we introduce now ICT applications then ICT literacy now the different courses then right across, whether na humanity, whether na pure and applied science, whether na engineering, whether na medicine, you get to do something with ICT because the world they go digital and the virtual activities then they don't become quite attractive. That from banking to medical services, where we they try for train people, therefore you get for familiar with ICT. But then going further, that's not just the only thing. Generally, the question where people then they add to contemporary curriculum around the world, whether they want for extend to university, apart from ICT, na entrepreneurship. In which case, when you learn at university, at the end of the university, you go able for engage or employ yourself, or you go able for make your knowledge marketable without necessarily you wait for big employer for employ you. Therefore, the university don't they work on that to the point that they even collaborate and work with skill-based institutions then. We go able for enhanced application of knowledge in the context of theory to students then. Beyond that also, again, people then just get much concerned, say, apart from ICT, apart from entrepreneurship, how again we courses the way we do, they become more serviceable to direct needs of society. For example, if you pull people there now, public sector get challenged. Which kind of training they come with for fill that gap there? We also go to engineering. We get more things the way for transform salon. But it depends on that capacity or skill. How we students they come on a university for can directly fill that gap there. For make we bridge them, for make we road them, for also make we stadium them, you name it. Then when you come further again from that kind of sector, then we also get a medical area, for example. we still get lesser doctors then, lesser medical personnel then. Nevertheless, we get a college of medicine. So that kind of thing, and the people they get concerned about how we go able to fulfill the current gap now. But again, not so just the curriculum, they answer that question. So now that make I tell you, say the curriculum review day. We don't do that one day. But again, we also need what we call infrastructure, generally for enhance that. If you don't they will work or catch up with them, we will need chemicals, then they will need at their lab there for practical work or tests. We also therefore ask for equipment then and that kind of facility then they. So now something to where we consider as very important, and we hope say by building activity, we were able to directly respond to that. The university education, finally, people then get concerned again with. That one, they're not just university. The problem from the entrance to the university and life in the university, we can always call and giggle, garbage in, garbage out. If you get people that way that they come up from secondary school, they don't actually come with proper credentials. What I mean, the requirement that way they come with, they're not able for defend them. They're not able for actually stand by that in portfolio then they. When they come at university, for let them go through that rigorous training at the university and go serve effectively. Now a question. But I think say you self go down they follow this worst result we just come out then days here. They can't cry when they around and say the number of people that will pass or the number of people that will be expected for pass as an outcome. Now a matter of concern. So the answer to your question, now a national conversation where we need for both primary, secondary, and tertiary education as alone. We go able not only the university for transform learning and enhance the quality expectations then where we need for the one that way they go learn, the environment where then they learn, the skills that way they go get, and how they go impact on society after education.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tonya Musa, because this is a very, very important topic. Education is very, very important. And education also now a source of revenue because the country where media so now, where obviously people know I'm not the world, United Kingdom, most people them all around the world, they can't have or can't study. And me so they ask you, so tell thank you, Mr. a lecturer. Dr. Tonya Musa, you know, if you say it's like we say one whole institution, one whole society business, this education in our country, more over tertiary education. For like government or civil society, they more, all go come together. Is there a platform like that so now go able to discuss ways them more go able to improve this education, go able to prepare we small one them for tomorrow for men go able to lead the country going forward. Like what say so more, we get plenty skills them way, now very key skills them with short part, like the medical sector the highlights. Just now, we see during the Ebola pandemic that we can't see, where they tell us to get most doctors, few doctors, and all things, and they will get medical screening at the country. How we going to do? What's your own as a director of media? What you feel say the country as a whole able do for able improve education? So waiting with that, we say I don't make it first time in terms of education as the Athens of Africa. What you feel say right now him if we able do for move education back to that kind of level in.
Well, I think the first thing where I tell you now, national conversation. We really need national conversation for map the way forward. From that conversation, suggestions then go come as waiting each stakeholders then supposed for do. The university community, secondary school community, as well as the employers then. Because the employers then, now then get for absorb more or less take them people here with their common university. Now they first don't begin to give feedback about the capacity where then graduates then get in terms of the needs that we then get or the expectations that we then get about the graduates there. So this is not a conversation where they for target policymakers then, the one way they go through the education process itself, the one that we get for employ them,
the families the way they come up for going to the university or for going to tertiary institutions there. That are one side. The second side where I talk now content management. You know, how we go able for improve and transform with methodology, how we go redesign with content them for meet their new learning objectives then. The third aspect again, a career opportunity. Now, if you've been in this salon before, waiting me and you perhaps be sit O level and understand waiting for science, 5 science, when I've been the branch, later 5 commerce, go university, it don't change over the years. And now we been to go college, for example, we just enter science stream, we enter an art stream, or we enter an engineering stream. Later we come out, we get ourselves out. But now needs they now for let we do career opportunity awareness, so that the person where they apply in a college, he go know the potential career opportunity the way he gets, so that he go able to tailor his knowledge through the opportunity then they. He not go get for go do certain things the way he don't, he see himself, they're not able for employer. Then he start all over. I can give you common example. If you take now humanity, 80% of the students when they graduate, now 20% go one go work. The 80 go get for decide for go enter for law. And you get for do law now we own system for 4 years. Then later you go law school if you get chance. If you're not able to get time, you go end up for go to classroom for go teach. Then you get lesser people there now where then go able to fill the other gap there where they. But I believe say if the career opportunity there, the outreach they go right in a secondary school and explain to people there or students there or school picking there, say these are the various career opportunity and how you get to their career then are the requirement and this for go university. When you go university, like not a degree you do mere diploma, but a skill-oriented diploma, where go able make where you do you get good job. I think say that one day back will help. The other side of back now the infrastructure. For example, that part of the world where you realize say where you talk about lectures. You get lectures there when are physical, you get lectures there when are online. That one they depend on the opportunity or the infrastructure where they. So you work, not go get for poor, you lectures. At the end of the day, time the way you note the virtual, you go able for blog comments and you get feedback. You get e-library, you get libraries then, when are online access, then you get able for do everything as submitter, while they still look out for waiting you they eat, you know, and take care of yourself. But then now we learning now physical, location don't tight, classrooms then don't tight. For reaching that location a challenge, you know, inside return traffic day. So at times when they go through all the things and they man just say, let not let me job, let go land. Or instead it decide for pay for the test or pay for assignment, let get the grade, let get the paper. But then at the end, you get knowledge gap. So now one thing that we really therefore address for say the infrastructure also put in place. Like I be telling you about lab there. If they do pure science now or chemistry, physics and biology, now practical oriented subjects than that. When a lab activities then. But if you not get the kind of chemicals that we're supposed to use, how you get for generate your idea and test them. Similarly, College of Medicine back now the same thing. Now lab oriented activities then. So we really need that kind of material, that kind of facilities then they, so that we students then go able to do practicals then. I mean the bridge they will watch that salon. All that thing and they not to angels then they make them. Now people that we don't go through tertiary institutions then, now then they do them. But if we not get that practical facility for level student and build we own bridge, perhaps I think say if we get that facility then we say go they compete like with army engineers then, for go they take services for we third year student then, final year student then, where then go they do. The other part again, now internship, where come on now in our own world. Then when you then at the program at a stage, you get for work with the industry and get direct understanding beyond the theories in a classroom. We go relate, for example, to team building, team leadership, work environment, how you go able for adapt to deadline and meet certain benchmarks then. That period the way the student they go get that. But yeah, poverty day. That even when you talk about internship, students just feel saying attachment for get money. If you know they know they hold out with seriousness, or organization they know they even absorb them. So these are part of the challenge the way I feel say the policy for able for address. And finally now, na spy, you know, exam practice. Because if you feel say, you know, they get you through, at the end of the day, it is a complete national conversation that, you know, they handle one in the absence of the other.
The other one. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tonya Musa. I mean, what you say now, high open, I believe say most of on this platform, the question we need that national conversation there, and also the resources, them plenty want them we don't highlight. I believe say if all the key stakeholders them come together, I mean, we'll get a chance. Like people like also get the ideas, they explain to people, because I believe say most of what you don't highlight today, nobody would disagree, because they're really important and really pertinent to what we will talk about. So thank you very much. I want to go back to Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasralla. Hello, Mr. Nasralla. You're on the line. Sorry, we were for hold on and clarify here quickly, because it's very important today in the particular platform. Let people, because get people who they watch me all over the diaspora. Plenty of people in America, and Europe, and Africa as well. Many they get the information. Many they know, because always people they cry the education sector, and they cry the people when they run the education sector as well. But if them people are so they arm them and tie behind and back, because of lack of resources, there's literally could do. You know, and that national conversation, we all need them, and we all need for come together and see how best we will improve education in our country. Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasralla, you there with me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. I just want to come back, because SLAJ, again, another body where plenty of we say Leoneans them can cry down. When they say plenty things they go now we country, SLAJ now people who say the journalists and them for the talk for we the people. But when they see something, then they will take us plenty people in the crowd that don't say we are not effective. What you know they do, what they go on now ordinary people in the social media they talk for people them. They talk for people them. And one example where I want to ask you about will be a two lady them apparently we be there in a stadium for go comment in one game. Then we again say, one of the bodyguard of the, I don't know if like the president, be beats them, they didn't attack them, say that they make noise or something. Then again, that case will be there on, we again say, the NEPA do investigation. I think that the Minister of Information and Communication be say, the NEPA do investigation. So people be baffled. Now, most people say, but wait, so where this now like a criminal case? Why Minister of Education and Communication, Information and Communication for investigate, not to police for investigate. Then suddenly we again and say that we don't compensate the people that involved, the case done. But many people they say, well, what in SLAJ they do? Because then an example will start for TINAP and say, no, this is not correct. This is like a criminal case. While this case go to court, make charges be made. People when the perpetrator them for this particular offense be prosecuted and justice then bring and come to bear. What's on that say? Because all entire people they blame now.
Okay, thank you very much. On the issue of say SLAJ, not a talk on issues them what they call, we have to be very careful. It's a bit kind of society all day. Not all thing we have to put more back. We know what we stand for. We only put more on something we feel strongly about. Say this issue is very strong. What they call we're not able for debate we from what would they do. The law go enter go begin to do the work of the politicians. Say. So very be careful what to do. Anytime we come out, we make sure say we don't debate them, we don't argue them, we don't weigh the pros and cons before we come out on any issue, on a national issue. So we go for the take time. Not always go for the talk on what they call. But we know say we interest of the people, we always say protect them. And maybe provide the platform for the national conversation thing. Every 2 days we always get the platform for all the people what they call we do everything on radio, we do everything on TV, we do everything on the newspaper. On the issue of the N2 lady the export lady, yes, now we call an assault, an assault on media people in the line of duty attack. And it happen we always get clash with the presidential guards them, we always get clash with security forces, and then they come on, whether an election or what they call. So nothing what would they discuss always. What would they try to do when an engagement we want? We try to engage with the security forces, let we understand the role they will play. Let them understand, say, the media and role this. They also understand, say, the security and the role this one. And we respect their roles and we respect one another and we try to move on. But then, that issue will happen, so SLAJ pull out the press release. Instantly, when it happens, we pull out members there. They want in our members there. We pull out a press release, we condemn the attack, And we call for the police for investigate and also call the government for take action. And the government in action wouldn't take the police actually investigate. And the guy it's a bit when they say police say they investigate, you know, for example, do you know what I mean? They always say they need on investigation. It can take years before they're done. But the government on the other side now, they say through the Minister of Information, they say they want to take action. So we then do that committee them form, and we then consult and we submit members then. We make sure say the people that were involved, SLAJ member then, and they also belong to WIMSAL, Women in the Media, and they also belong to SWASAL, Sports Writers Association. So then they join 3 organizations, they put under the media, put under SLAJ. So SLAJ send members from each of their groups and they represent another committee. Now the Human Rights Commission, that committee, when they look into that issue, and let them find out what really happened, because they get conflicting stories there about what happened. And then do one. We submit it to people and then go. Then get the investigation, then do a report, then do recommendations. And at the end of the day, one of the recommendations then I will let them make sure say they compensate the people in back, they give them back the material they wouldn't boil, and then make sure say the one they will they inflict pain on, they give them medical for check the medical and make sure say they're healthy and okay. So we do that and we involve the full time and make sure we follow monitor the process. And mention also that the people who do the act, they say therefore, so, you know, you will find back the rehabilitation because we focus on Apole, we get good security forces who respect democracy, who respect the role of the media, and so that you don't happen again and next day. So we'll keep quiet too. So let's stand up. We say we don't want to let type of stop. At any time they're attacking the journalists, what's not in the line of duty with the Tinafora. And we do them. And at the end of the day, then we do the ceremony, they kind of do the investigation, they do the reports, and they make the recommendations there. And we follow on the recommendations then, and we'll make sure they all go through.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nasralla, President of SLAJ. And it's very important to make brothers and sisters and people who watch this platform, may they know what they do, because most of the time, probably the people misunderstand what's on a role, because what people then can put for now say, now for they do a plenty. People they look up to now for say now for be the mouthpiece of the society. But to say now plenty concerns them, not easy. Like we can't say like way Dr. Tonya Musa be say, a post-conflict country. There are many challenges there. But going forward, sir, we'll effect for round up now because we can now be small and we'll get some few technical problems them. One tell all man I chat thank you plenty for now, plenty comments them. We'll get small technical difficulties.
Just before you go, Supermed. I'm just back. I just finished with the conference quickly. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, then thank you very much, Prince. Let me just. I will refer back to you just soon. Let me just.
Again, one final question for each of we guests them, if we don't mind. I know we don't do quite well, almost an hour and 30 minutes on the mark. But just a quick one to Mr. Nasralla before I go to Dr. Tonya. This time, the final question to you, and regarding the IMC, this now concern many people there. And I get so many messages, here tonight. The last part I want to let you talk about, and thank you very much for most of the clarification. Like the co-panelists say, the co-hosts say, there are many misconceptions regarding SLAJ, and even with me on this side, and you won't believe the amount of clarification that you've done here tonight. And I think that would don't allay many fears, sir. Many thanks for that. But here is the thing regarding the IMC again, and this got to do with the suspension or cancellation of licenses. So 14.1 says the commission may suspend or cancel a license when it is satisfied, here there are 3 or 4 criteria there regarding the holder of the license has violated the term and condition and of the license anyway. But the thing what we want to draw your attention to, now the fine way involved, the kind of money we talk about, a person or institution who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and shall be liable to a fine not exceeding 30 million. Make sense out of that.
Not exceeding 30 million.
Yes, not exceeding. Yeah. Yes, sir. Could be far less, but not exceeding.
It could be far less. So that's what you're talking about. It can be far less. That are just a maximum when you're not going to pass. You know what I mean? It can be 1 million.
Yeah, we agree, but that's the one that we deal with.
Depending on the gravity. Yeah, nothing we argue in a parliament. We argue in a parliament,
Okay.
we argue back with the ministry, we argue with the MP there. But now the MP there, now they decide that one, they say nothing, they give up because the violation them, they can so severe, even 30 million small, so they want to put at 60 million. It's a big parliament now. Parliament, when you propose something, where you can go there, then they make them bigger. Then we propose at 60 million for B. Now we put
yeah, but Mr. Nasralla, that again, you see, points to the issue of draconian, because you get to look at the GDP of the country, the earning, the press society, waiting and they make, how then they make salaries and etc.
Yes,
for letting put that kind of money there, because that are a way.
Please, it
Yes,
all
sir.
comes.
Yes, sir.
It all comes down. No, it all comes down to responsibility. There is no way. You know, they go find you one thing. I can tell you, if you get for be a consecutive violator of the section we talk about. So what you do and continuously, the one you not do one, the one you not do one, the one you do one back. Let me say, you know comply. That's not the part that we talk about responsibility of the media. You get the freedom, but you have to be responsible. You need to the law, then lawyer day. You comply with them. So if you don't comply, that means you want to break the law. And they're not missing they will charge, they will fine you 30 million. No, that is just the maximum. Definitely. It can be 1 million, it can be 5 million, it can be 10 million. And also, yes, the issue will get. And we argue out, but you cannot argue beyond putting for what they call it. Parliamentarians the one for make sure say they get a stringent law for protect people the repetition day. That the one day. The private bosses, everybody gets to minimum journalists there. Journalists are not above the law. We deal within the law. And people get right to their privacy, people get right to the repetition they don't build over the years. So for the journalists can want to know you can't point on one history or for one green commentary. They want you know right. So they all now just caution the media for make sure say we do the things right. But nobody not going to use them as a political tool for begin fine journalism on necessarily. Yeah.
Okay.
But will you be notorious for violate the section there? Definitely they'll go for fine you. Okay, you want to comply with the laws. And these are laws. They don't pass on a parliament and act. Like I said, the parliamentarians maybe want to go higher than down there. Because then so particular, they say this lawyer will come pull out. They say, but we're afraid. They say we're afraid because people in the petition there, we're afraid for with something they can do. So when I talk back now, we say, okay, I know that they too plenty. The media poor. You know what I mean? Let me kind of nice, okay, the cut down to 30 million. But I don't mean say at 30 million the commission will find. And they will get the people already at the commission will get represented in the most of them are already appointed. Most of them are already appointed. So they get for single interest post and the media interest. Yes.
That's very clear, Sahid. Many thanks for that. Let's just go to Dr. Tonya. We just run out. So Dr. Tonya, 60, 90 seconds. Most of which I want to ask you don't address, but there was so much information out there. But on this note, I just want and straightforward for we guess them, that are the significance of mass communications as we live in this critical era right now, which you don't articulate very well. So how much Una they do, you in particular, heading so much of an important department in disseminating info, because one of the key most responsibility where you get now how for send out mass communication to people and for conscientize people and for understand things then where they go on and how for change the perspective of them. How much of this you do, sir, if I can ask, or your department they do?
Well, the department now the university, it takes actually now for let we train communicators them, you know, journalists them, people that were involved in public campaign, the one that then they do advocacy, you know, and we objectives them now for let we able for accelerate behavioral change, social change, and also impact on society for let them sustain dialogue and conversation for prevent violence of conflict. So that one they go on. For example, Nasralla don't explain or the monk as waiting at their expectations there. But theoretically now, from the academic position, all waiting he don't explain now just a development with an act. Meaning the act now in they don't handle. But then there is a greater law bigger than the act, when the constitution where they not review it. So meaning any act not for the in contravention with provisions in the constitution. So we, for example, now they try for explain theoretically say repealing the criminalized law is not enough without reviewing the constitution. Yeah. We go provide a chapter you know, about freedom of expression as well as press freedom generally. Because alone now, for example, Section 25 sub 1, now in just provide for, you know, freedom of expression, from which the media, they take your own rights. But if you go inside further, inside that same constitution, you get contempt of courts, you also get contempt of parliament, where then different from the criminal libel law. So we the able now for explain to the students then further legal ramifications and framework about the freedom and responsibility alongside accountability. Going further also, we dey try for teach reform agenda for even the investors then. All waiting more not explain, for example, now the side of the journalists, where the consumers then, the media users then, how much media literacy they among them for let them understand.
Well,
the
we will save that for another day, Dr. Tonya. Unfortunately, we seriously don't run out of time, and we want to say thank you very much. Fambule Muna, we don't listen, and we get for listening. Dr. Tonya and Mr. Nasralla, aka the monk, have in principle accepted an invitation for come back to this platform. Sometime around December, we go put the date out soon for help commemorate with 3rd year anniversary, this platform in 3rd year anniversary. But for tonight, I want to say thank you to them, and I will pass on to Superman, maybe get the last word and let equally close the program. Super.
Okay, then thank you very much, Brother Prince Emil Kuma. And I want to say again, which I don't stop soon. I think say most of our viewers and say people looking for subsequently watch this particular video and this program says we don't benefit a lot because we don't get plenty clarification today from Dr. Tonya Musa as well as Mr. Sahid Nasralla. These are very important figures in our country and our people, and we basically they are the forefront of communication. And like way Dr. Tonya Musa is saying also, even with constitution, plenty thing in the way that they communicate and everything. So we want to tell them thank you plenty, and like we look forward for see them again for the big program on the anniversary for this particular platform on then and now. So Mr. Sahid Nasralla, president of SLAJ, and Dr. Tonya Musa, I want you to the last word for say bye-bye to family. Thank you very much. We very much appreciate you today. Dr. Tonya Musa.
Well, Fambu, I tell you, thank you for listening. We and self create the platform for we for talk to Fambu then. I tell you, thank you. Till we meet again, bye-bye.
Thank you. Mr. Sahid Nasralla, please.
Yes, family, thank you for listening to me, and I want to say thanks to the then and now team for this wonderful initiative we want to come up with and for make we day for this program today for clarify certain issues that are related to press freedom and journalism in our salon. We're always available for come back and talk and clarify other issues them and talk more about what in SLAJ they do and what in our vision for the future and how would we say we make the country everybody get the right for talk freely without fear, without get any threat to the freedom of expression right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Fabulo in the chat, sir. One time again, thank you plenty. And again, this same time next week, we then at this platform again. We'll not forget for tuning. We'll go please now we YouTube page and like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And we this particular platform now for all Sierra Leoneans. So we'll always feel free for our comments and suggestion. And we're all welcome. We'll thank you very much. We'll return all bye.
Tara. Thank you so much for tuning in. Where Marcela Sambas is saying next, we'll not forget.
Okay, man.
Let we come together and change the attitude.
So, okay, Fambulen, that's not the word that we've come to the end of the program tonight. Mr. Sahid, Ahmed Nasralla, many thanks once again, the monk. Really appreciate your time. Dr. Tonya, Musa, much respect to you. You two, we will see you again, same place, some other time, very, very soon. Good night, everybody. We still get few people and still sign on. I make me play the music for level wind down, but still we get people and we sign on, but we have to go. It is what it is. Bye, everybody.
Okay, boss. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
welcome.
man.
Welcome.